Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with a growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcasting, the home for indie podcasts and content creators.
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Good day, good people. Super excited to have this opportunity to spend today with you. I am Dr. Heather Heteru, and welcome to another purpose-filled episode of Lessons for the Journey, produced by Podcastic and Your Inspired Journey, live every Friday at 12 noon here on Facebook and YouTube. I am excited to have in the studio with me my co-host, motivational healer, Ma'at Sabah. And every episode, we explore, realign women's wellness, our spiritual insights, healthy relationships, and real-life journey lessons. Every conversation is designed to help you understand your whys, heal emotional patterns, and grow in spiritual maturity as you move differently in your next chapter life. So if you're seeking clarity, healing, empowerment, this podcast is for you. This is not just about entertainment. This is about inner growth, inner guidance. And so to do that, we do a few things to get started, including asking you to take in the information that resonates with you. And for those things that do not, put a pin in it for another time. But we do want you to really benefit and engage with us. And so to do that, we need for you to have your two most important tools. One is your water. Second is your journal and your pen, so that you can take in any information that may resonate with you, or you can always go back later and fill in the gaps or fill in the blanks when you review this podcast. So what we do to begin is we use our Ma'at memos or me, myself, and I cards so that we can connect with our inner guidance. And through that inner guidance, we ask the questions and we allow ourselves to be present. And we want you to do the same. So as we pull the cards, we want you to answer and respond to those questions for yourself. And if you will, jot down those notes or call in and share with us. And so I am going to grab my first card, and we always ask everyone in the studio to join us. And so we're going to pass the bag over to our engineer. He's grabbing his card, and I'm passing it back to my aunt.
You got two.
You got to keep those.
Yeah, you have to keep it. If you drew it, it was meant for you to have.
Right. You
got a double message.
Right. Miles drew a whole handful of them. That's going to be interesting. Oh, and this should help you, Miles. My memo says, all questions have an answer. All questions have an answer. And, you know, at some point when I was going through school, I remember I was in middle school. I was in the 8th grade. Brother Reese, He was a history teacher, and I remember he said two things that always stood with me, and you can tell because that was 8th grade, and this is years later. One of the things he said was that there is never a stupid question. That was the first one. He said the only stupid question is the one that was never asked. And the other question, he asked the class, which way was up? And everybody pointed this way, and he pointed that way. And it just struck with me because everybody was pointing at what they thought was up in the sky, but he was talking about in terms of the rotation of the earth, which direction would be up. And so it started me thinking, even at a young age, that there is a reason to question the things that we say and think are the norm. And so he kind of put me on that pathway of being able to question and give myself permission to question things. Just because it's always been or always said does not mean that that is my truth. And so it set me on a course that thank you for Brother Reese, that he's an elder in spirit now, but I thank you for being in my life and helping me to understand that questions are essential. So Miles, what did you pull?
3 cards.
Okay.
3. Oh, wow. Okay. It's going to be good.
Triple, right. Triple threat.
So those 4. He who loves little gives little, but he who loves much gives much. I can testify to that one. That's part of my life. Second one say crisis in life affects like 1,000-watt. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me get my crisis in life acts like 1,000-watt bulb. It illuminates the area in your life that needed to be healed.
Oh, powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. You're on the roll.
If you give God the steering wheel, take the wheel, Jesus. If you give God the steering wheel to your car of life, then sit back, enjoy the ride, and be quiet. Yeah, that's dope. I find this one very effective because sometimes you do have to just. Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. Sometimes you do have to just say, "Okay, God, I understand. I need to back up, take the wheel, because you've been steering the same car for so long, not understanding which direction you need to go in." And if you just ask God and tell God that I submit to you and I give it all to you, God gonna take over. And you can't be mad into which direction you go. That's how I take it. That's how I look at it. That's dope.
Wow. My aunt. Let's see what you got.
Okay, so mine says, speak without offending, listen without defending.
Ooh.
Speak without offending and listen without defending.
Wow. That is deep.
You know, that comes into play with significant others and your children. I think this is it's important, period. But I think the people that are most immediate in your life, that's when it's the most important. Be careful how you say things to people, because you can't take the words back once it comes out of your mouth.
Wow.
And then if somebody brings something to your attention, especially if it's something about you, then don't defend it. Just listen. Listen to what they're saying. There might be some truth in there. And for the fact that you're trying to defend it means you're not listening. So.
Ooh, that's powerful.
I like this one.
That's really powerful. You think about how arguments start, and I like to think that sometimes we argue about things that really have no basis for arguing. Arguing how a person feels. How is it that we argue how somebody else is feeling? And if you think about a lot of arguments and heated discussions, it's mostly around opinion. How do how is that possible that we would argue somebody else's opinion? It's their opinion. And so I think that's another, bless you, I think that's another opportunity that we have to grow and to mature, that as you are really listening and taking in what somebody else is sharing, it is theirs. let them own it. You don't have to take ownership of it. You just share in the same space as it passes through you or by you. You don't have to. You have to own it too. So that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for making my memos available and the Me, Myself, and I reflection cards available. And you will find out how to connect with those tools as we move through this podcast and before the end. So make sure you have it so that you can write it down and connect. So our topic for today. This one is for all of the strong women out there. The topic is strong women still need support. Strong women still need support. I'm excited because this week I was able to share a space with some incredible women in a sister circle that I'm a part of. And I offered a presentation early this week that was, I want to say was probably around maybe 25, 30 women on this call. And again, strong women, each one of them represents a strength of their own. And in that strength in community, strength in family, strength in leadership, strength in organizations, strength in businesses, like all of these dynamic women who are strong, often, like we all are as strong women, still need support. We still need each other. We still need insights and guidance and new tools and new information and new knowledge, right? Because we want to reach our points of wisdom. And in some areas of our lives, we have maximized the knowledge that we are now applying to our lives. And then in some areas of our lives, we're still a work in progress. And in those spaces, you still need support. And so this topic, one of the reasons why it was important to have this conversation is, and this was from my reflection, so for generations, women have been both loved and hated for their strength. Oh, good afternoon, Chantel.
Hey, Chantel.
We've been loved and hated for our strength and our independence. But today, women must find balance and communicate their needs authentically without believing they will appear weak, misused, or live without love. Our reflection is about identifying strengths and communicating our softness to open the doors to love and be understood, not just understood. And so we often use strength as a shield. In this episode, we examine how independence, resilience, and self-reliance can block intimacy, rest, and receiving. Healing begins when strong women give themselves permission to be supported. We need to be better at defining what that looks like and the imaginary and the known boundaries we set for real support, because we do and we can set those imaginary boundaries. And so I'm going to ask Ma'at if you'll jump in for the overview.
You know, we'll probably discuss it a little bit later, but one of the things that I was thinking about when you talk about a strong women still need support is a lot of times they don't ask for it. And because you're so used to being the one and everybody's used to you being the one, that you don't ask for help, you don't ask for support. And then sometimes when you get so ingrained in what you're doing, you don't realize you need the support until something happens. You know, maybe you start to get sick or whatever, or, you know, things put you in a position where you know that you have to do something. So that was the first thing that came up. And I'll save the rest too as we go along through the bullet points.
So, a strong woman is really an archetype. It's an archetype that often describes or are held by expectations and perceptions. The most significant misunderstanding includes her resilience for invincibility, or her independence for a lack of need for connection or resources. In reality, strong women are not emotionalists or superhuman. They are human beings who operate with high emotional intelligence and resilience. We often, out of necessity, and who still require support to avoid burnout, practice isolation, and experience loneliness. Those things still happen to us, even though the perception is that these are things that we don't need, or that's not a high priority on our list of engagement. And it is a misnomer. Let me tell you that for sure. And so some of the content that we're going to talk about comes from Psychology Today, Empower Coaching, and they kind of share some of these ideas about the myths and the actual needs of strong women. And so we're going to get into the first question. I'm going to encourage our viewers or listeners to call in at 810-560-0658 to share your thoughts and comments on this really important topic. And if you find yourself being that archetype of the strong woman, what that looks like to you. So tune in, tap in, give us some feedback on what it looks like for you and what you've gone through, or if you know of that archetype and how other women are navigating it. So question number 1, Ma, do you mind taking that one?
5 myths about strong women. Myth number 1, they are emotionally bulletproof and unfeeling. Strength is often equated with being an icy broad or unemotional. The reality is that strong women feel deeply but are capable of regulating their emotions. They are not robots. They simply choose how to respond to emotional situations.
So what are your thoughts about that? Emotionally bulletproof and unfeeling.
When you are a strong woman, again, it is people expect certain things out of you, and you expect certain things out of yourself. A lot of times that woman will set expectations for herself, and your family, friends, co-workers, staff, they have an expectation for you as well. And, you know, when you have all these balls in the air, it's easy to be unbalanced because you're so focused. You have to have these things done. You got timelines, deadlines. People are depending on you, and you don't have the luxury of tapping into emotions like you would want to. Strong women are put in what we call masculine energy, and which is the exact opposite of our nature, which is the feminine energy. But you have to be able to balance the two. So how do you navigate things and stuff in life, keep all of the balls in the air, but yet not being hard about it, being soft, operating out of love, operating out of patience, operating out of compassion and concern with all the people that are depending on you, or the people that you have some kind of interaction or connection with. Is how do you create that balance? And sometimes when you have a lot of weight on your shoulder and you have a lot of people and things that are depending on you, it's not that easy to come out, step out of that, what do they call it? Step out of those, I'll just say step out of those shoes. And when you get home, do you have a way to deflate? Do you have a way to balance that energy out so that you're not excessively in the masculine energy and so hard that people can't come to you, and that you respond in an aggressive manner? Like, creating that healthy balance is really important. And sometimes, strong women get put into positions and they don't want to be put in the position, didn't get asked to put in it. When you're a mother, a grandmother, you're in it, whether you like it or not. So learning how to keep that healthy balance on top of loving yourself in the midst of that. Because we have to take care of ourselves, and a lot of times we don't. We put us on the back burner.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And so when you think about being emotionally bulletproof, I think about you should be able to deflect, sharp and harsh words that come at you. Oh, you're just a bee. And, these kinds of terms that come along with seeing a woman who has presence, who is in leadership and has to make really tough decisions. It's like those words don't penetrate you you're going to exude it because that's who you are, and you don't care that people throw the darts at you, and you don't care that people talk about you and make fun of you behind your back, and you're not supposed to care about those things. But again, another misnomer. It is very much that people have sensitivities, because your underlying goal as a strong woman is to move a process, move an organization, move a family, move a relationship through a course. It is not just to hold it and hold it still, it's to keep it moving, to keep progressing. And you can get a bad rep for that. You can get targeted for that. If you think about even the last presidential race, there was clearly a strong woman candidate in that position of the race. And there was a lot more negative, or there was lots, I should say, there are not more, but there was negative darts that were thrown. The fact that she wore pants. Just, all of these negative things. And imagine that it's not just a small group of people. You are on display for people to make these comments, whether they're making fun or whether they are agreeing or disagreeing. You are front and center, and you take in a lot of energy, whether it's positive and negative. And if you are not mature and spiritually aware, you may not be able to take that energy and turn it into something positive. It can get heavy. And so I want to encourage us all to be careful and be mindful of the words that we say and the energy that we send out to strong women. And so I think that's an important way to look at feeling like somebody is bulletproof, or that they don't feel the same emotions that most people do. Just because they're able to put it to the side doesn't mean that it didn't affect them. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's important in this process. And so that was myth number one. That was strong women are emotionally bulletproof or unfeeling. So myth number two, they don't need help or support. Big myth. The superwoman myth suggests that because she's independent, she can do everything alone, which is not true. This leads to burnout. Strong women need to be able to ask for help, delegate, and depend on others without feeling weak. That is the reality for a strong woman, that she is not doing it alone. There is support and help that is sometimes behind the scenes. And there are strong women who intentionally like to be behind the scenes. They don't want to draw any attention to them, but they are moving and managing and organizing and operating. They just don't want to be seen because they don't want to be up front often because of the targeting of the strong figure that is out front. She becomes the target for the negative and the positive. And so some women like to often step back to avoid that particular part of the leadership or the strength that she is showing. And so, again, we fight burnout. Strong women need to be able to ask for help. So that means there should be an environment created for her to ask for help. And that's why I think even now that sister circles and your tribe is so important, because you get to focus and center yourself in that space. And they're growing every day. The tribe, the idea of sister circles and tribes are growing every day. Support groups around whatever the concerns that women, people also, but in this instance, women are facing. And so it is not just a local phenomenon. It is not just a trend that's setting. It is actually an energy that has been set in motion. And I remember first becoming aware of these circles of women that are moving globally around, it was a book called The Millionth Circle. The Millionth Circle. It's actually a global movement of women coming together, whether it's a sister circle, a network, a support group. Women all around the world are coming together, whether it's an ancestral group, an elder group, a council. women around the world are and have been coming together in a more organized, supportive way, so that the work for the strong woman, the work of community, the work of motherhood and grandmothers and leaders, that there is a space, a safe space where that energy can continue to circulate. And so it's not something that's isolated or a temporary phenomenon. It is a movement. And so if you're being drawn into that movement and you're being drawn to particular circles, this is one of the reasons why it is an energetic field of change that is moving, so that we can do more, so that we can help to grow and expand our world, our network, our resources, and that feminine energy, seeking wholeness and balance, not isolation and not judgment. And so I think that's a really important part of the myth that the superwoman is isolated and singular. She is not. She has a tribe. Your thoughts on that, Maude?
Asking for help is important. And I would encourage people who have a strong woman in their life, as we're saying, don't assume that she doesn't need help. People rely on that strong woman for whatever it is that they want or whatever it is they need. But are you compassionate enough to look at her and say, "Oh, she looks tired. Maybe I'll do the dishes," or fix the dinner for a couple of days and take it over to her. I'll watch the kids so she can sleep. There are many ways, everybody pitch in $10 a piece and get her a massage. There are many ways that you can help to support the strong woman, because the more support she gets, the stronger she gets, and the more that she can assist everyone who she's entitled to or commissioned to assist, whether it's your mother, your grandmother, your sister, your boss, your coworker, your neighbor. It doesn't make any difference who it is. That woman needs some assistance on some level. And so it's really important to empower her to continue doing what she's doing, so she can continue to do what she's doing for you and all those that are involved in her. Now, on the flip side, she needs to be open to the support, because when you've done it for so long, nobody can do it like I do, and they're not going to do it right. All of that sets in, and so sometimes you think, okay, well, I have to do this, or the whole world and everything's going to fall apart. Allow yourself the grace, allow yourself the self-love to love on yourself and be loved on by other people. All of those things help to support and empower you. Another thing that's really important is as you say, your tribe, or finding that circle of people, whoever it is, whether it's men or women, women who are around your age or who do the same thing you do, whether it's in business or if it's a particular kind of group that you're in. It's important to have that circle of people around you that you all can support and energize each other, bounce off ideas, and they can say, look, you've been grinding for 6 days in a row. You need to stop. You need to get some rest. Take yourself out to dinner. Just stop. The world's going to keep on going. I promise you that. The world will keep going. No, nobody's going to do what you do the way that you do it, but they can do the best that they can. But allow yourself and give yourself grace and love on yourself, and pay enough attention to yourself to know that you need the help, and then ask for it.
That's so important. Thank you for that. The third myth. You want to take number 3?
Okay, the third myth is that they must work harder than men to prove themselves. Many women believe that they need to work longer hours to be taken seriously, equating work-life imbalance with success. The reality is this belief is a driver of burnout, not a requirement for success. That's absolutely true.
I know somebody that works like that.
I do too. We're looking at each other.
Right. Hey, Rich. Glad you're here with us today. Yes, and so we have developed these patterns. We have developed this mindset, and and of course, there are points in time that have pushed this narrative, right? Where women had to work harder, had to work smarter, had to work longer hours for less pay. And in some areas, that still is very true. I would say that's still that's still the perception of truth. Not necessarily that it is true. Mm-hmm. But what we do and how we define our value is most important internally first than it is externally. And so as we continue to take this journey of becoming, because in every role that you play, we have a degree of excellence. That degree of excellence, that degree of influence, that degree of impact can only stand as long as you're standing. And so that you're in competition, the only real competition that I have for myself, I'll speak for me, is for me. My biggest competitor is me. Can I outlive the best version of my 2025 self? Can I outlive the best, my best last project? Can I continue in excellence in all areas of my life, not just in my work? I think that's another part of looking at this myth that, I can do so much at work, but then for myself, I don't have the same drive. I don't put the same effort into what it looks like to have the best results for myself. And I know that for many women, it's a struggle. I can pour all my time and effort into my work life, the thing that's paying me, and paying me to have the type of lifestyle I have. And I can go home and I'm always exhausted. I never have any time for me. I'm constantly in competition with time. And time is a construct, but it is one that is in continuous motion. The days, the hours, the months, the years are passing by. And if we misstep because we're in competition with a person versus the quality of life that we should be living, it puts a different type of stress on us. And so as we are de-stressing, we are reassigning that energy. We are reassigning what's important and what has value so that we don't fall into the competition really being with someone else. The competition is with what you need to be your best self. And so I think that's another important perspective to have out of this. And it helps us to prevent burnout that we're constantly chasing. They used to call it keeping up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. It's the same type of philosophy that is somebody or something that you are in competition with. So myth number 4, strong women are unfeminine or masculine in their approach. Strength is often viewed as a masculine trait, implying that for women to be powerful, she must discard. I'm still getting applause. Thank you. Right. That it implies that for a woman to be powerful, she must discard her femininity. But the reality is that strength is not gender specific. And many women combine leadership and strength with femininity, softness, and openness. Balancing the feminine energy, balancing the feminine arts. And it's really interesting that there are very few places that are actually teaching feminine arts. And it happens to be one of the opportunities that I offer, and I've been offering it since, I think, since 2013, I've been offering the feminine arts or the sensual arts classes for women. And it is such a joy to be in a space that's created for you, that is created with the feminine energy, the sacred feminine energy in mind. And so helping us to draw it out. And there are lots of women now that are even more visible about taking components of those feminine arts and bringing them to not just the marketplace, but bringing them where women can see and connect with them based on what resonates with you. And I think that's another important piece. Would you say, Ma'at?
Yeah, this reminds me of two things. One, I had a customer, and he was telling me about his wife. She was like a supervisor at the factory. And she had a softness about her. You know, she just had a very soft, mild, almost meek demeanor that you wouldn't think would go along with that role, you know. And he said that everybody loved her. They would get their work done and then go to her and ask her, is there anything else that I can do for you? She got the exact opposite than most supervisors would. So the other thing, too, is learning how to use your feminine energy, not misuse it, learning how to use it in a balanced way. And there's ways that once you learn how to do that, you will treat people differently. You'll be paying attention to them. Like if you see them struggling, instead of be like, well, what are you doing? What's taking you so long? Instead, you would take a more loving, feminine energy. It's like, you know, I see you might be having some challenges. Like, you know, is there something I can help you with? What are you having a problem with, so we can work this out? So there's a way to do things to get the response that you need from people, to give them the respect that they need, to not demean them, to not misuse your power or your feminine energy. And so that way it's a win-win situation all the way around. So you can take on what they deem as a masculine role and still be feminine in your approach.
Absolutely. And it's necessary. It's necessary. Do you have to sacrifice who you are, who you want to be for a job or for a role or for a position? I think part of our goal here is, I'm saying here in this journey, in this incarnation, is to be the best version of yourself and constantly improve our ways of being. Our way of being is how we are every day, and the things that influence and move your way of being. And can you be resilient? Can you be the best authentic version of yourself? And in doing that, empower you and empower the environment that you find yourself in. That although balance for us is being able to recognize the masculine and feminine. So not just the emotional, but the logical, right? But the practical, and being able to do that with balance, to do that with honesty, to do that and live that as a way of being. You increase the trust when you are your authentic self, your reliability, you know your boundaries. And so you can, and other people can, respect the boundaries that you set and honor that and honor you in the process. Of course, having both. You are the best of both, just like you're the best of a physical being and a spiritual being. Honor the best of you. It's one you. It is made up of the parts that are balanced. And we're constantly in this dance of balancing energies. And so it's important that we get better and more attuned to that balance. And so this is one of the ways that we do it, is in the way that we approach life and the way that we approach situations and how we solve problems, because that's part of our journey here too. And myth number 5.
Number 5, they cannot make mistakes.
Ooh.
Heavens. Heavens forbid. There's a misconception that strong, successful women are perfect, which prevents them from taking risks. Mistakes are essential for growth. Strong women need the space to take risks and learn from failures, not just succeed perfectly.
Yes. So and that is so important. And I love this saying. They say that, what was it? Edison found 10,000 different ways not to establish a light bulb, right? Or instead, but just like Dr. George Washington Carver, he found thousands of ways to use a peanut. And when we start, I think one of the boxes that we find ourselves in is that there's only one way to do something. There's more than one way to be right. There's more than one way to follow a path. There's more than one way to be. And it based on a situation or the circumstance that's in front of you, you choose the path that's least resistance. You choose the path that may be right for you at that moment. And it doesn't mean that you can't go back or change your direction. It does open up the possibilities. And so how you see failure, if you see it as final, if you see it as lacking the education or lacking the process, I think that does more harm than good. So being able to take missteps, take the risk, try, right? If you never try, that's a bigger failure than the fear of it itself. So be careful, be mindful that it is okay for you to take risks, take new steps, take new investments, try new things. And if you look at it as failure, it becomes a failure. If you look at it as life lessons, it then becomes your lesson and your blessing. So I like to think that that is the position that we are in as strong women and spiritually aware and mature people. So I'm going to ask you to call in if you have some thoughts or questions on the strong woman today. If you know one, and if you know that these myths are true or you can prove them false because of your strong woman, give us a call at 810-560-0658. Give us a call or tap into our chat box and let us know about your strong woman or if you are that strong woman. And so we're going to move into this next segment around what are common supports that strong women really need. You want to try number one, Mott?
Okay, number one is emotionally. Validation. They need validation and safety. To be heard, not fixed. They need partners and friends who listen to them without trying to solve their problems. The second one is emotional safety. They need to know that they can be vulnerable, angry, or sad without being judged or devalued. And number three is appreciation. They need to feel seen and recognized for their efforts rather than taking their strength for granted. Absolutely.
Have you seen any examples of that?
I have. So the first thing I thought about for the one, emotional safety, they need to know they can be vulnerable, angry, sad without being judged or devalued. This is where your circle comes in. This is where your tribe comes in, or somebody that you can talk to. Because when you're a strong woman and you have all of these balls in the air that you have to struggle, your plate gets full faster than most people. Your tolerance lowers. Your energy level lowers. You absorb everybody's stuff. If you're in a position of leadership, they come to you with their complaints, concerns. You have to absorb that. You have to deal with it. You have to resolve it. Same thing with the family. So you have all of this energy that you're being inundated with on a regular basis. And if you don't have a way to release it, then that's when the lashing out comes in. That's when, everybody wants to call you a bee, or she's aggressive and she's this and she. No, she did not have an outlet for all of that energy that she's taking in on a consistent basis. To be heard, not fixed. Again, this is where your tribe or your friends come in, just to let you just vent. Let it out. You can't let it out to your coworkers. You can't let it out to your significant other. You can't let it out to your children necessarily. There are some things that you can share with people, and then there's some things that you can't. And so you need a people or a person that you can share that with, that you can release that energy with. So then once you release it, you're back balanced again. You can approach whatever the situation is that you're dealing with, family, friends, coworkers, staff, in a more balanced and harmonious way. And it's not emotionally taxing to you, because again, you can only take so much before your cup overflows, and that might not be a good look once that happens.
For sure.
And then the last one is appreciation. Again, a lot of times the strong woman is expected to do what she does. But people just assume, because when you learn how to juggle those balls in the air and you juggle them well, people don't necessarily think that, that you don't need an attaboy sometimes. Buying somebody a cup of coffee, giving them a single rose, giving them a card. You know what? I see what you do and I appreciate you for that. Doing something for them to let them know that they're being seen, that I do hear you, that I do appreciate you, that I see what you have to go through to do whatever it is that you do, and you do it well. And it's important that that woman is giving her flowers. Don't wait until I'm not here and then you're at my funeral telling me about all the things that I did for you when you didn't tell it to me when I was alive.
Right. Wow. It's important. Again, appreciation. It is appreciation can take place without lots of resources, lots of money, and lots of time. You can show people how you appreciate them. And that's one of the greater elements of the need that strong women have in our lives. And so, again, for your strong woman in your life, Ma gave some great examples of ways that you can show appreciation and acknowledge who they are and what they bring. The second one is spiritually, purpose and alignment. Higher purpose, a sense of meaning that extends beyond their daily tasks. And again, this is what strong women really need. Space for self-care, time to reconnect with their inner selves, whether through meditation, nature, or reflection. And authenticity, the freedom to align their actions with their personal values rather than meeting others' expectations. Give space. Give space. And so the higher purpose, recognizing that there is so much more to her than you can even see. Recognize that her day, her challenges, her work, her roles are so important to not just you, but to others around her and in the environments that she occupies. Honor her space. If she's asking for space, if you know she needs a space when she comes in either the office or she comes in the house or she comes into your circle, give her the space. Before you start in with venting and complaining on your end of what is right or what is not right, what is good and what is not good, give her some space. Give her a minute to take her breath. Give her a minute to take a drink. Hand her something. Hand her a drink so that she can hydrate. Hand her a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, whatever you know, a cup of wine, whatever you know that helps her to relax and unwind. Hand that thing to her. That is part of her self-care and your show of appreciation. And also, where there is opportunity, maybe you have your meetings outside. Maybe you have it at the park. Maybe you shift the direction and bring a more natural environment into the space so that so she can have that moment for self-care as well. And then lastly, align her values with your values. Align the value of whatever the project or whatever the business. Align the values, making sure that you understand what is the message she is trying to convey. Line up with it as opposed to refuting it or always debating it. Sometimes just be still. Sometimes just be still. She needs your compliance versus your defiance. And so it gives her an opportunity, again, for purpose and alignment. And so next is physical.
Okay, so physically, restoration and care. She needs rest and recuperation because they often do it all. They need to intentionally rest to avoid burnout. Mm-hmm. She needs physical nourishment, which is proper nutrition, hydration, and movement that makes her feel good, not just intense exercise for vanity. Mm. And she needs physical attention, not sexual, comforting touches such as hugs, holding hands, and to feel secure and connected.
Yes. These are other great ways to show appreciation and to show support because she needs it physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. She needs that level of support. And these are ways that you can help support her in the environments that she occupies and the roles that she plays. Just a shout out to my sweetheart, Dr. Calvin T. Mann. Thank you, honey. And some of the ways that you support me in our work together and give me the support that I need to, so that I can do all that I do on a daily basis. So thank you, honey, for being my support system. Other ways that are reflected, if you have some ideas as we wind down today, give us a call at 810-560-0658. If there is a strong woman in your life and you want to acknowledge her, also tune in. Give us some ideas of ways that you have helped support her and encourage her through her journey and through the many roles that she plays. So how would you say that you do that for the close people around you, in addition to the popcorn today?
Well, I'm a foodie, so I'll if I find out what their favorite food is, I'll try and make them a dish.
Like that carrot salad?
Yeah, I'm gonna hook you up.
Oh my gosh!
I am.
It's the craziest thing. I would have never thought about carrot salad. But it's delicious. If you haven't had it, or if you don't have a recipe, I'm still trial and error with my recipe. So, sometimes the original is the best one.
And it's really simple, too.
And that's what people
really
say when they're really good at something. It's something that's so easy. All you got to do is. It really
is, but I'm going to hook you up seriously.
Okay, I appreciate that.
If my schedule wasn't so crazy, you would have had it by now.
Well, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. So you could do send people to little GIFs.
Oh, nice.
That takes a few seconds. You're already on the phone. Send them a little GIF. We don't have to wait for birthdays and Boss's Day and Sister Day or whatever they have. Just send it just because. Mm-hmm. Sending little cards. Now they have e-cards. I mean, there's stuff you don't even have to pay for. Just to let somebody know that you're being thought of. I would even, if you have the capacity, take somebody somewhere. Now, this is an extreme case. For those women that don't know how to stop, you might have to just go over their house and say, go to bed. I got this. Just stop. Just stop. I got this. I got the kids. I'll cook. More than likely it's going to be a family member or close friend. Mm-hmm. If it's a boss or a supervisor, just say, look, what do you need? And for the next 30 minutes, just don't do anything. I just want you to relax. You can listen to a video. Listen to some music. I got your favorite coffee drink over here, and you don't have to do anything for 30 minutes. Just rest. Mm-hmm. So there are things that you can do that don't take a lot. And even if you do something like that and she doesn't accept it because maybe she can't, because of the type of job she has, just the fact to know that you cared enough to see her, to let her know, I see you, I see you're stressing, I don't quite know what to do, but this is what I came up with, means everything.
It does.
So strong women, even though it seems like it takes a lot for them, it really doesn't. Just small gestures mean everything. It's more that you thought enough about me to show some concern, show some passion, and show some love. That goes such a long way. You really have no idea at all. So strong women are strong a lot of times because they have to be. Mm-hmm. In some situations you don't want to be. You're in a position, so you have to be strong, and you have to be everything that comes along with it. But with everything is balance. Loving on yourself. And don't always rely on somebody to love on you and appreciate you. Appreciate yourself. Mm-hmm. Take yourself out to dinner. Take yourself to the movie. You don't have to have other people to go with you. Take yourself to get your nails done or your hair done, or get a massage, or just go out to a park and sit in the trees and in the sun and just enjoy nature. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't take a lot, but it does take you putting that strong step forward. The other thing too is your physical body. We talked about that, but giving yourself the nourishment that you need, not only emotional nourishment, but physical nourishment. So the strong woman more than likely has a tendency to not eat well.
And
because the deadlines and the rushing and you have to do this by this time and I'm expected to do this. And so you just grab the closest thing or the stop at a gas station or something that is not as healthy as what you really need. And so when you lack nourishment, you will lack energy. When you lack energy, you're going to lack focus. And it's just a downhill from there. So, and nobody can do that for you. You have to do that for yourself. That also is nourishment and self-love. So again, it's creating the balance, and you can just look at your life and see where you're out of balance at and how you need to balance that back. So if you're working 12 hours a day, are you choosing to work 12 hours a day, or do you have to work 12 hours a day? And if you do, what can you do? Bring healthy foods with you. Don't stop at a gas station and pick up a hot and ready and that type of thing. So there are things that you can do to show yourself love, to nurture yourself, to show yourself value and worth, and not depending on other people. And anybody else that does anything for you is a bonus.
Awesome. Thank you. And I want to just acknowledge those strong women who are also caregivers, especially if you have older and aging parents, if you have children that require additional care and support. I honor you today. I honor us today because the strength of that woman who has a constant, almost 24-hour job, that as a caregiver, whether you're a parent or, again, caring for a loved one or an elder parent, it is an honorable assignment, first. Secondly, you do not have to do it alone. There are programs, there are resources, there are support groups, there are respite programs that are available for you to have an opportunity to take a moment. Part of that is trusting that the person, your loved one, can be in good care for some time. And that the total, and allowing other people to help, asking, putting it out there in your circle that you need some help and some support, because burnout for caregivers happens much faster than regular healthcare workers. And so it's important that you are canvassing your tribe, those who have resources and information and knowledge. Get the support and the other tools that you need. If you keep trying to do it alone, your burnout could be such that you won't be able to be present for either. And we need for you to be present, but we also need for you to be well and be balanced. So continue to find the balance. And again, we honor you today. I want to just bring up that another strategy for caregiving is one of the tools that my husband and I, Dr. Calvin Mann, have created called the Emmy Way. We have created and we have engineered a process that we have put in an ebook that will be helpful, especially for parents, grandparents, teachers, administrators, youth practitioners, anybody that's working with our young people, and especially our boys that have recognized that there has to be another way. And what we talk about in this ebook is that there is a new language that is spoken that we need to learn as adults. And we talk about that in our ebook. What does that look like? Our ebook launch is coming up this Tuesday, March the 3rd at 6 p.m. We will have the link connected to the video so that if you want to register and get your copy of the ebook ahead of everyone else, it will be released and available for those who are attending our ebook launch this Tuesday, March the 3rd at 6 p.m. So stay tuned. You'll find the information on Facebook. We'll have it again also in our Lessons for the Journey video, the link to register. This is a great opportunity, especially for that strong Black woman who is navigating our boys in particular, but are navigating and educating our young people, whether they're children and young adults. This season that we're in, and I have not met one parent one parent of a son who has not had some challenges in navigating this language between parents and children, and between teachers and students, and between people who work in youth programs and the youth that they're serving. There is a better way, and we are encouraging you to try the Emmy way. So looking forward to seeing you guys then. Also, please tell them how they can connect with you and all the tools and resources available.
All right, so my email address is relationshipfirstaid@yahoo. You can reach me on, DM me on Facebook, Relationship First Aid, or my personal page, Ma'atiba. And if you like the cards that we've been highlighting every session, the Me, Myself, and I, and the Ma'at's memos, just contact me and let me know, and I'll give you the information. There's more deck. There's a family deck coming from parent to child, and there is a deck coming for people who are seeking relationships, and then icebreakers. So all of those are coming up next.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for being here, Ma'at.
Well, thank you.
You can reach me at yourinspiredjourney.com. You can reach me by phone at 313-759-7855. And if all else fails, you can Google me, Dr. Heather Heteru Miller. Just do a Google search, and either books, our tools, our podcasts, our lessons for the journey, my workshops, video clips, you'll get a whole different community of information if you want to connect. So I'm always looking forward to speaking with you for coaching, for workshops, and for the tools and these lessons for the journey. We are here because this is the journey. We thank you for being with us today. We hope that you have benefited from this information, from our collective knowledge and wisdom. And until next time, stay clear.